I do it this way, then I just download the audio clip from it. So, 3, 2, 1. Welcome everybody to the SideQuest Special E3 Xbox Special 2015 Special. I am Dolly Demovsky. Joining me is the one, the only Sam Dixon.
Hello, friends.
And the other only Tom Johnson.
Hey, everybody.
That is it for this week. Bin is out lollygagging, doing whatever, and I think and Robin was going to be on, but she caught a sore throat, so she isn't able to join us. But she'll join us probably for the next one. Anyways, so we were just talking in the pre-show here. We're 2 weeks away from E3. In fact, 2 weeks from 45 minutes from when we're recording this will be the first big announcement at E3 with Doom 4. Right? They're going to showcase Doom 4 at that Bethesda thing. We'll get to all that stuff, I'm sure, on in one of our last couple episodes here, last prediction episodes, when we do the third-party stuff. But
can I say how much I really hope that they just start the conference with a giant 4 on the screen and then just go into Doom?
Yeah, that would be the biggest, the best troll possible.
Yeah.
And just do Doom 4 and that's it. Brilliant. So today we're going to talk about Xbox, and as I said, we were talking a little bit about during the pre-show about how there's still news breaking up until E3. Usually this time is really quiet, but I don't think the publishers realize that to save their news for the big show. But there's been a lot of stuff that's been happening over the last week and a half or so. Where they just had a big Nintendo Direct in Japan. Nintendo spilled the beans on a new Chibi Robo game and a new Chibi Robo amiibo. How's your amiibo hunting going, guys?
Pretty solid as of right now.
Did you get all the ones that you were looking for?
Yeah, I've got a couple coming on Tuesday, but
okay.
I'm good now as far as I know until like Olimar comes out.
Did you get Greninja?
Yeah, yes, okay. I did.
So you've got every single amiibo then, right?
Oh, well, no, not every single amiibo.
Oh, no?
Just I only collect like the ones that I want, really.
Okay. Right.
And Greninja just happens to be pretty high on that list.
Oh, cool. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've backed off after I wrote that article of how waiting in line at GameStop just kind of broke me. Waiting for one stupid amiibo and waiting for 2 hours, and some folks have been there for 3 hours only to get up to the front, and the characters they wanted were sold out. So I'm like, that's it. I'm done. I'm only buying the characters that I actually want and that I plan on opening and using. But as I say that, on was it Friday? Amazon had their sale on amiibo, so I ended up picking up like an extra Lucina, an extra Robin, and an extra the Silver Mario. So I've got like 4 Silver Marios coming in all of a sudden. So just because you never know where you're gonna get them from. You gave me the hot tip about Silver Mario at Walmart, and I just happened to be cruising Walmart.com at that point and saw that. So yeah.
Dolly, you're my friend and I love you, and I hear you say these things, and you're just hurting yourself.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's funny. It's like I gotta stay away. I do want those damn Yoshi amiibo though. Those look awesome.
Oh yeah, the yarn ones.
Yeah, the Yoshi yarn ones. And like I said, I'm only gonna go for the ones I really want. I do really want the Inkling ones. So I've pre-ordered those or ordered those because they look really cool. They're actually like probably the nicest. The Inkling ones, these Yoshi
bottles on the back.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
The Yoshi and then the Chibi Robo. The Chibi Robo is adorable because he's just kind of sitting there, and I think that's the first one with an actual base that's not a flat surface, right? It's got like the green grass. Yeah, it's not the coin. Yeah, so yeah, we'll see. Of course, as soon as the Lego stuff pops in and I start going all in on Doctor Who, Lego Dimension stuff.
I still have yet to buy any Toys to Life stuff.
Really?
Every time I pass the Disney Infinity aisle at the Target, there's always that one Nova Marvel one.
Sure. Yeah.
See, I made the mistake the other day of I noticed that like GameStop had what was it, Skylander or yeah, Skylander Swap Force or whatever for $10. So I'm like,
Oh
$10,
wow.
like might as well like try the starter kit thing and see how it goes.
Yeah.
So I made the mistake of bringing that home, and the next day I come home, my brother has like 5 other Skylanders. He's like, I went to the store, I made mistakes, I
I
have one of
made
every element
mistakes.
now.
That's how it starts. Totally how it starts.
Yeah.
I'm like staring at my wall, which still has a bunch of Skylanders on there, and then I packed up a box of them about a month ago. So the other ones, but yeah, I'm not as big into Skylanders anymore. I do think the Skylanders figures are actually the nicest
Oh yeah.
because they use multiple materials and paints and finishes, and there's lighting and all that kind of stuff in there. So. I think over quality-wise, they're the nicest. They may not be the best looking, and everyone has their preference between that or the Disney or the Nintendo ones. But I think quality-wise, the Skylanders are the coolest. But that's neither here nor there. Today, we're going to chat about Xbox and the wonderful world of everything Microsoft that's coming up at E3. They have been incredibly quiet, except for the leak that came out over.
Oh, Gears.
No, well, not Gears. That was yeah. Gears is one leak, but the controller, which that leak kind of broke last week. Other than that, they've been really quiet. Same with Sony. Sony's been really quiet. In fact, both of them seem to be taking a step back about what they're showing. I think Microsoft, Phil Spencer said we're going to focus on first party content this year, just first party content, and then Sony kind of alluded to, yeah, we don't have a lot of first-party content this year, so hey, we're going to focus on third-party. So it's kind of it's yin and yang, or say two sides of the same coin. It seems like it with the big pubs there, the console holders. But I think it's going to be pretty interesting, and so we'll talk Microsoft today, and kind of go from there. So who wants to go first with their prediction? We'll do kind of our like we do at the Nintendo show. We chose 5 predictions, and then it's just an open forum at the end to see if there's any just bonkers, crazy ideas that we'll eke out. So, who wants to go first? I'll go first. That sounds good. So here's one that I think will actually kind of shock a lot of people, hopefully in a good way. I believe we're going to see. This isn't a first-party exclusive, but I think it may be published by Microsoft Game Studios potentially. I think we're going to see Left 4 Dead 3 show up.
Oh.
Which, go ahead.
I've seen them mention that game multiple times.
Yeah.
Like not Microsoft, but I've seen that name pop up occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like mostly silent. And Xbox was really big with it, so I would not be surprised.
Yeah. I mean, Evolve was okay. I haven't played Evolve, honestly, beyond some of the beta stuff. It just didn't seem like it was my thing. I loved both Left 4 Dead games; they were a blast. So I think the one thing that Microsoft is missing is this big giant co-op game under their name. I mean, yeah, they have.
You don't think Fable Legends is going to be that game?
Yeah, I don't think Fable Legends is going to be that game. They need this giant cooperative experience. It isn't this big multiplayer, arena type of game. They need that big experience back. That's what the Xbox 360 really excelled at, was bringing people together. You bring 3 of your friends, so 4 of you together, and you go out and you play this game. I mean, we already know that there's a couple big co-op games coming next year, but I think it's something that Microsoft needs. So yeah, give me Left 4 Dead 3. Zombies are always good. I think it's time to bring kind of the big daddy of all the zombie games back. So yeah, that's my first prediction.
It would be Valve bringing another game to consoles then too, right?
Yep, I think so.
Since there's been talks forever that they've been right. Hasn't there been in like Steam? There's been source files of Source Engine 2, and that I wouldn't be shocked if they use something like that. Left 4 Dead 3 as a test on consoles again for that engine too.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah, that's sort of what they did with Orange Box, and then just never released another Steam Source Engine game like on the consoles again, as far as I know.
Portal 2, didn't they?
Oh yeah, Portal 2. Yeah,
Portal 2, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's my prediction. Left 4 Dead 3. What about you guys? What do you who wants to go next? How about Sam? Sam, what do you think is going to be the first?
Well,
What's your first?
I was kicking around the idea today that I think we might see a free-to-play game coming from both major public or both console owners this year. But I'm thinking that Microsoft's free-to-play game might come from Mojang, since they spent like $2 billion on that early. What was it, earlier this year or late last year?
Earlier this year.
Was it? Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Because you got to think they're working on something from Microsoft. You don't just drop $2 billion if it's just for Minecraft.
Whatever happened to Scrolls, by the way? Did Scrolls ever release?
It came out.
Did it? Okay. You don't hear anything about it.
Came out, which is not great.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it got buried in Hearthstone, like talk.
Which I think a lot of people did, yeah.
Yeah. So, and what that would be, I don't know if it would be like some sort of like not a direct sequel to Minecraft, or at least something along that sort of like building, like creating your own worlds type of thing. But then that stomps over Project Spark, so who knows with
Project Spark's being so successful.
Yes, well, true. Oh, hey, it's got a Conquer expansion pack coming out or out. Who knows?
Yeah, they announced it when, like last year. They announced it.
I think they announced that last E3, right? Because Conquer's like silhouette came up, and everybody's like, "Oh man, they're gonna make a new Conquer's game," and never happened.
A Project Spark version. Everyone's like,
Yay.
Okay, great. What's funny is I was thinking the same thing. I think it was September, by the way, that they were purchased by Microsoft. So it's been about what,
way less than that.
10 months or so, something like that. 9 months. But I think I also think something's gonna come out of that. I had scribbled Minecraft 2 or something of that big nature, but I'm curious. I think that's gonna, whether it's a full-on Minecraft 2 or a free-to-play, or maybe it's a big free-to-play version of Minecraft. Maybe it's somehow baked into the operating system, which could be kind of cool, because I don't know many people who are fans of the Xbox OS right now. Just it's fine, but it's buggy. It doesn't really have as much of the engagement as the previous the Xbox 360 had. So this would be kind of a cool thing. Maybe it came included in
like the snail game on the
Master
System.
Yeah, maybe there's a version of Minecraft that's just included in every single Xbox One. So yeah, it's a great point, Sam. I think that's a strong one, definitely. That needs to happen. Tom, what about you? What's your
Are we going bold or are we going practical?
Whatever you want to do, dude. Just you can make it rain, or you can just like make it drizzle.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and go bold and say that we might not see a Call of Duty thing at Microsoft.
You know what? I think you're,
because everyone I know who reviewed that game got PS4 copies, and everyone I know who has seen, like, when they show off that game, it's been on PlayStation consoles.
So that's a big thing. Yeah, I wonder if that's why they alluded to going more first party, in that they're no longer the prime target for Call of Duty players anymore. I know the same thing. Yeah,
popped up Tony.
Because
that would just be they need a fuck you right now, and they really don't have that.
And they're pushing Halo quite extensively right now.
And they're not going to debut. They're not going to dedicate a whole bunch of time to 2 first-person shooters in an hour and a half.
That's true. Very true.
I would not be at all surprised if it didn't show up.
That's a good one. Especially considering how close Microsoft and Activision kind of used to be over the years with Call of Duty. And I mean, they kind of lost. They've been losing Activision to the PS4, at least in terms of PR, especially with Destiny. They definitely lost Harmonix to the PS4. Remember, Harmonix was doing all the Dance Central stuff, and they were always debuting that during the Xbox shows. So I'm very curious to see what ends up happening.
Yeah. And even with like those small deals, like I didn't even realize the extent until I was talking to someone who plays Destiny on PS4, because I've gotten deep into that again. Is like how much like dumb little stuff that's kind of important to the core experience is just included on like this console exclusive until like September.
Oh wow, yeah.
I think there's a couple of strikes, and even like a couple missions in the DLC. I think, right? Like, doesn't the House of Wolves have like a strike or a mission or two that's only exclusive to?
And, like some of the best weapons in the game are console exclusive until September.
Yeah.
yeah, it's true.
But yeah, that type of thing I can totally see going big for Sony, because like that. I remember years ago when they signed that contract with Microsoft, there was like a term on it. I remember when that term was. I tried to dig it up, I couldn't find it. But it has to end eventually.
And they've thrown a lot of money at Square Enix right now with Tomb Raider. So yeah, it's kind of a big deal. Yeah.
Speaking of which, of that Tomb Raider, sometime this afternoon they talked about they're showing gameplay of that tomorrow. And it was
really?
It was Xbox's Twitter account that tweeted about showing the gameplay. So my thought is, I think they're going to mention that at the press conference, but maybe skip over showing anything because they're going to show this gameplay reveal tomorrow.
I think they have to go big on it because there's no Uncharted game coming out now, and the only game like that they have.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, remember Microsoft did just say that Gamescom is going to be as big as E3, so that Tomb Raider could be a Gamescom event.
There are too many of these things. Oh, that's good though.
Cool. Good points. We're all great points. Well, I'll go ahead next. I've been scratching things out as we've been saying here. Since you guys seem to be lining up with a couple of mine, but Forza 6, we know Forza 6 is coming. It was announced back in January, but I think there's definitely going to be something different than this, in this Forza, because the last mainline Forza game rubbed players kind of the wrong way with all the freemium or premium stuff that you had to buy and unlock, things that just didn't quite work as well as they intended to do. So I think they're actually going to go really big. They've had a couple of years now to kind of reevaluate what Forza is, and I'm thinking it could be something as big as like racing leagues or some type of tie-in to like F1. Something there. I just have this feeling that they've spent a ton of money really kind of fixing Forza and bringing back what made it a lot of fun. So I think they're going to announce something like that. Go ahead, Tom. Go ahead.
I have never bought a Forza game.
Really?
I will buy it day one if they incorporate F1 stuff into it.
Dude, see, I think they have to. I think they're because Horizon is a blast. I still play Horizon. It's a ton of fun. Forza 5.
Project Cars exists.
That
is that game.
Exactly.
You can do all of that stuff.
Yep. And they have Need for Speed is coming out, so I think they do need to go big and catch up to everybody else with a lot of that stuff. And they have the cars and data, so everything's in this gen. I think they can kind of pump out these changes, at least from the car wise, pretty quickly. But I think it's the kind of the big aspect. And my other big thing is that you're going to see the ex-Top Gear hosts have some type of effect on this game. In fact, I could almost see they're the announcers, right? So you have Jeremy, you have all those guys as the announcers for this game, and maybe the new Netflix show that they're supposedly working on, or maybe it's an HBO show, I'm not sure, also has a very big Forza tie-in. So I think they're going to go all in with Forza this year and really make it something special. So that's my prediction. I'm not 100% sure what, but
Yeah, they pushed a lot of the Drivatar stuff in 5.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to take that data somehow and use it to maybe make AI racers better or something, or maybe do or non-simultaneous racing leagues or tournaments or something like that. Just to get people to engage on a weekly basis or something without having to do the whole over-expensive marketplace to get cars and stuff.
That's a really good idea.
Yep, I agree totally.
If they even just get the F1 tracks, which are so good, I've been watching a lot of that this year. If they just get those tracks, that would be awesome.
That might be where they take it. Get those, maybe even get some motorcycles in there, and you're set.
Because there are so many sim racing games now that they kind of have to distinguish themselves among them. Because just being one of the early ones doesn't mean you can just keep doing the big thing anymore. I
hate to say it, because this is such a cliche and way to say it, but they've kind of been lapped by some of the other car games out there. And look at what Gran Turismo. Here I know, I'm so sorry. So look at what Gran Turismo is doing. GT6 came out 2 years ago.
Remind everyone you're a dad, Dolly.
Yeah, right. So Gran Turismo 6 came out 2 years ago. And it still has massive support from all of the the car manufacturers, and Dodge and SRT or SRT part of Dodge just kind of announced their downloadable car for the game. So they've been pumping out every couple months. One of the manufacturers pumps out this new car for the game, and it's awesome. It's been fantastic for Gran Turismo 6 to say. Granted, I think all this stuff. This is my prediction for the PlayStation show later this week. We're going to get GT7. But I think
announced that yet?
They haven't announced it.
For some reason,
yet.
I thought that was announced.
No, but I think that's going to be it's a big thing. I think they need to go big with Forza and kind of bring it back to what it was 4 years ago. So that's my prediction. Forza 6 is going to be big.
It's a good one.
Who's next, Sam?
Yeah. Well, we already talked about that the sort of leaks around the HD remake or whatever they want to call it of Gears of War 1.
Mm-hmm.
I think we get that announced as I think we're going to see whatever Gears of War that they're working on. I don't know if it's coming out this year, but I think that we're going to see Black Tusk's Gears of War game that they are working on. And I wonder if this is going to be like, pre-order this game and you get this, or they might do some sort of we'll let you play this for free while we're working on the next one. Because if it's just going to be from what everything that leaked, it was just the multiplayer from Gears of War 1, right? Yeah. So maybe this is actually their free-to-play thing, and that it's just a remake of that, and maybe you buy maps or you have to buy in to play ranked or something like that. But I think they need, if they don't do something like that, I wouldn't be shocked if we don't see another Halo 5 beta. That might be released as the conference is going on, kind of like Sony did with Hardline last year.
Oh guys, you can do it right now.
Yeah.
And then everybody who's at the show is like, crap, run out to the car.
It's like how during E3 2 years ago, everyone was in the conference ordering their PS4s.
Yeah, yep, I remember. I actually was doing that.
Right now.
That's how I ordered mine. Yep. No, I that's another good one. I mean, they had the leaks for Gears of War. I think
they start bricking people's consoles.
That was amazing. It was amazing that they could. You know what? You sign up for it, you better read that fine print.
Yeah. Microsoft had to walk back on that and say, hey, we're not bricking their consoles. We're just banning them from Xbox Live, which is as good as bricking them nowadays.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can't do anything anymore.
The worst part is that people were surprised. You're surprised that they could do that?
So do you think? So you think we'll get some mention of the next Gears of War from what Black Tusk is working on? You think that'll end it? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll get a Cliffy B size walkthrough of Gears of War that we always got with the other ones, but at least a cinematic thing. See Dom
Phoenix voiceover.
Yeah, see Dom say the F word 3 times, and then it'll be it.
I could totally see a slow logo reveal and a Marcus Phoenix voiceover.
There you go. Yeah.
30 seconds.
I'd be really interested to see what how things are going to kind of take place with on the Xbox 360 you kind of had alternating years of Gears of War, Halo, Gears of War, Halo, and then when Gears of War kind of stopped, you had Halo New and then Halo Remake and Halo New, Halo Remake. So I wonder if we had the kind of Halo Remake last year. This year we're getting Halo 5. Next year we'll get Gears of War 4 or whatever it's going to be called, and then I'm almost wondering what happens for whether it's maybe late 2016 or early 2017. What's their 2? Titanfall 2. So that was one of my predictions actually, was that we would get some type of. It's been 2 years, right? It's been a year and a half since the game released.
Sure, but EA is going to focus a lot on Battlefront, and I'm sure we're going to see new Battlefield this year too. Whether if it comes out this year because of Battlefront, they probably won't try to cloud it. But I wouldn't be shocked if we got another spin-off Battlefield.
Sure.
Probably around the same time Hardline came out.
Maybe they'll give us a really cool cryptic introduction like they did with that friggin' Mass Effect one last year. Just these are dudes in a studio making art. Check them out.
Yeah.
Our guys do stuff. We can't tell you anything about it, but all right, cool. So Tom, what about you?
I they have to be like the bundles that are coming out this year have to be 1 terabyte machines.
Okay.
They have to make a regular 1 terabyte SKU.
How are you guys filled up on any of your consoles right now?
Oh, I've been filled up on my Xbox One. I don't own a single Xbox One physical game, and I own 5 physical PS4 games. So
I'm
my Xbox One
yeah, sorry, go
is
ahead.
like Grand Theft Auto 5 on Xbox One is 68 gigs.
Wow.
The
Holy
Witcher
cow.
3 I think was like 45 gigs.
Mm-hmm.
The OS, because there are 3 OSs installed on there.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh. Yeah, I have my let's see, my Xbox is at 70 to 75%.
I'm persistently at 90 to 98%.
Oh really? My PS4 was filled, so I had to delete a bunch of crap off there. My Wii U was filled. The 32 gig part was definitely filled, so I went and bought a 2 terabyte drive, and I've been kind of that's going to be forever for loading that up. But yeah, it's kind of amazing how these things haven't even been out for 2 years yet, and we've completely filled them up.
I changed out the drive on my PS4 the week I got it.
Oh, did you? Okay, I should have
So
done
I
that.
have a 2
I
terabyte
might have
drive
to
in
do that.
there.
And then
Yeah,
you're already filling that up.
PlayStation.
Wow.
It's
PlayStation
so easy.
Plus, has really destroyed
Yes.
like any chance of having a hard drive space on the PlayStation.
Totally. And I need to make sure everything is being saved online, so I can make sure I can get my game saves. If for that one weird reason I want to play Resogun again, and have to re-download it.
My PS4 is lately just I have it on my desk and it's almost become like an exclusive Destiny machine.
Oh really? Okay, I have to get back
Because
into this. It's one thing I haven't.
Way too much, dude. I will run you through all of that content.
That sounds like a plan. We'll do like a catch Dolly up to speed event.
We'll record it. It'll be a good time. But they have to.
So do you think there'll be anything else with those bundles? I mean, there was the controller leak. You think that'll be a part of it?
No, I think the controller leak is just a minor hardware refresh.
Okay. You mentioned in the pre-show that maybe it's like they're also going to say, hey, there's a slightly better battery
I think so.
interface to it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, but like that. Right now, like you have to buy like this dumb proprietary thing for the bottom just to get, which is really inconvenient.
Yeah, they did that. That pissed off a lot of the hardware manufacturers for headsets early on when the consoles, when the Xbox was first released. The PS4, you could literally just plug and play everything and it was fine.
Yeah, and it has a rechargeable battery.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It is everything that controller should be.
So it's hopefully that this new Xbox One controller will be better.
Also, paired with, since we're talking hardware, I don't think there's going to be a hardware refresh.
You don't think there'll be a hardware redesign?
I don't think there's going to. I think it's too soon. They haven't sold enough of them.
They're at what 10? They're probably at about 12 million at this point.
Also, they're only 2 years in, and like those hardware refreshes for the other things usually come at like 3 or 4 years.
That's true.
Way too young for that.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to see that from either of them. Maybe Wii U, like we talked last week.
Possibly. I mean, I almost wonder. There's a part of me that wonders maybe they will still release a hardware refresh for the Xbox One. Because remember, a lot of that space, and who knows, maybe if I'm probably just talking on my ass when I say it, but Kinect was tied in really heavily to that console, and so there's a considerable amount of memory put aside just for Kinect and how things are running there. I don't know if this has any effect on it whatsoever, but potentially by ripping Kinect out of there, I'm almost wondering now if they're going to release a new Kinect that's a much simpler interface to the console, and then release a slightly modified or thinner hardware design for the console, something that can maximize it. Because remember the Xbox 360, when that was first out, we heard about new chipsets. I mean, we were all in love with the Jasper chipset.
I got the Falcon one.
The Falcon.
That's when I jumped in. Was that Falcon?
Yeah, and those were announced like every 3, 4, 5 months. You'd have a brand new chipset that was out, and this was almost immediately after launch, right? So they had.
Do you remember when they were like, we're gonna introduce a high-end Xbox One, and it's gonna be black.
Yeah, exactly right.
Did that again? Xbox One Elite.
Yeah, Xbox One Elite. Don't be surprised if they do. No, I don't think they'll go that far. I think they've kind of learned their lesson.
If anything, I feel like you need to make it cheaper.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And they need to make that $399 or $379 or $349, whatever that is, whatever that could be.
Well, and they might cut the TV line in too, which would be a cost-cutting measure, I would guess.
That's true. That's true.
That would be a weird thing to do since they just released that official TV tuner for antenna.
Yeah, that's also
That
true.
just came out
That's
like
true.
last week.
Well,
That's true.
unless they work on if they have, I know that they're probably not going to talk about any like TV media type of stuff since that has been their death note for the last like couple of E3s. But if they do pull the thing out of there, I wonder if they're gonna have like maybe a DirecTV app or something where you
Hmm.
can use your DirecTV service through it or something.
Yeah,
Um,
it wouldn't be the first time because I have a friend who uses Verizon FiOS and they're able to watch TV through their Xbox 360.
Okay. Yeah,
Like
that's
anytime,
right.
every time I'm always on Xbox One, I always look at my friends and it's like they're watching Verizon FiOS TV.
You know, what was it? The AT&T did that for a while, right? Didn't they do it with the Xbox 360? They had like
Yeah,
this
the
mini
eBird stuff.
DVR
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. All right. So yeah, I think that just the idea of a hardware refresh, or at least upping the terabyte, the hard drive, maybe dropping the price, I
Yeah,
think is
dude,
very
there's
valid.
500 gigs is so small,
Nowadays, for sure, for sure.
especially for
So
that type of media.
yeah, definitely. And now they're definitely pushing for download. So I'm gonna throw in something. I'm gonna take my turn now, my third one. One thing I'm hearing, and it's kind of been bugging me just about the entire kind of gaming industry as a whole right now, is that this E3, last E3 was exactly what I'm about to say, and this E3 is gonna mirror that, especially this year. But I'm kind of bummed that on the lack of innovation for new technologies, right? Yeah, granted, we had the Project Morpheus for the PS4, which was kind of off to the side last year, and they didn't really talk about it all that much during the press conference. Um, but Microsoft is lagging behind in that. They had the Kinect, and the Kinect was, for all intents and purposes, the Kinect 2 was pretty much a failure. They probably sold more consoles without Kinect than they did with Kinect in there. I'm gonna make that assumption right now, or at least it's very close. So I think that they need to do something technology-wise that'll wow people and that'll get people excited. And Microsoft is always working on cool things. So I'm gonna say HoloLens right now, that they may actually say there's they may bring HoloLens out onto the show floor and say, hey guys, we're able to get this. We've heard that you need a $1,500, $1,000 computer, $1,500 computer to run Oculus. Well, guess what? You can run HoloLens on the Xbox One right now, coming this fall to Xbox One and to Windows, and it'll be $299 or $199 or something.
Dude, and here the thing about the HoloLens is that that's a computer. Like it's all in there.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I was for a thing I'm writing right now. I mapped out like how to build like a decent bare bones PC
Uh-huh.
to run an Oculus, and I still came up like $1,200.
Which is crazy because I just bought my laptop like a month and a half ago, and I don't think it'll be able to run Oculus very well.
Well, that's because it's like, hey, recommended specs for video card is a
Mm-hmm.
GTX 980,
Yep.
which is a $600 card.
Yeah, yeah.
Or
They're-
minimum specs 970, a $450 card.
So it's expensive for sure, and I don't know what PS4 is doing with Morpheus and how the visuals are holding up there, but I do think this is the time for Microsoft to say, hey, by the way, we could do really cool, innovative stuff as well. So here's our entry into it, and I'm calling it HoloLens, even though I actually don't know if it's going to be HoloLens or not that they're going to showcase, but I think they're going to have something cool technology-wise. They say, hey, Kinect was fun for the 3-4 years that we had it, whatever it's done. Here's something new that'll kind of open up the market to a different audience, and then I think now's the time.
I'm just spitballing here, but what if
I like what
they
ifs.
had a capacitive touchpad in the middle of the controller that you can, let's say, swipe left or swipe right or swipe up to do things like open a map
Amazing.
or a door.
Amazing,
Or
considering I don't
or
think
put
I've
a
used it.
speaker in the controller.
I've used a speaker in the controller is a great thing. The touchpad on the PS4 controller, I've used it. The only time I've used it is to push down to open like an option screen. I've used that so minimally.
In Infamous Second Son, there are required motions you have to do to like.
Oh,
Open
really?
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, to like open doors.
Who knows, man. But yeah, I think now's the time that they need some cool technology. So they need to they have this bare bones box, this BBB we'll call it, this bare bones box, the Xbox One, comes with no longer has Kinect built in, comes with a controller. Now the people that want to get something cool can get something cool. So I think yeah, and hopefully it won't be a Fable game. Hopefully, yeah, right. So remember the Fable the Journey, which was just it was that Kinect game that just didn't end up making any dent in anybody's heart whatsoever. It was
it was an on rails like shooter type.
Yeah, it was an on rails shooter exactly. So that didn't do anything. But then you had cool experiences like Dance Central, even though that wasn't like the most motion game. It wasn't really mapping characters, just kind of taking photographs of you doing moves. Then you had stuff like the kids game that Double Fine put together, the Sesame Street game, which was actually kind of cool. It was a neat idea, and it got people interested. So I think.
What was that other Double Fine game they did that was really good?
Yeah, they've had a couple of them.
Was it Gunstringer? Was that Double Fine?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, was Double Fine that did that?
No, that was Twisted Pixel, right?
That was
the
Twisted
guys
Pixel.
that make.
That's it, yeah.
Well,
so
actually. I was just going to say, we haven't heard anything from Twisted Pixel since they made that really awful like motorcycle game.
Yeah.
So
Loco Cycle.
Yeah, Loco Cycle. That's right.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So that's my pick. Some cool technology, whether it's HoloLens or something else, is coming this year. Guarantee it. I haven't seen anything, so. Sam, what about you? What's your next?
Well, I have a couple that I'm not sure if we're going to talk much about since we're not really sure if anything. Number one is I think that we're going to see some sort of bigger DLC coming from Insomniac for Sunset Overdrive.
Okay.
I was curious about picking up those DLCs the other day, and I went. I don't know if you guys remember they had. If they called it Sunset TV or Overdrive TV, they were doing those like weekly YouTube videos in the game. To kind of explain content coming.
Sure.
And they haven't done one of those videos in about 4 months now. And I just watched the last video the other day, and it said, like, whatever, the guy was in a simulation, yada yada, and it's like, oh, we don't need you for now, as if to allude that at some point they'll bring him back and bring that stuff back. So we're about, not a year over when Sunset Overdrive came out, but close to it.
Yep.
And I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see, like, a sort of a bigger DLC from them.
That could be cool, like an infamous. Was it the First Light or Last Light, whatever that was?
First Light, yeah.
First Light, and then the Last of Us. They had that kind of big DLC, and now what was the one that was? There's something else. The Wolfenstein.
Oh, the Old Blood.
Yeah, the Old Blood. Yeah. So I think it's those types of big DLC chunks. I think are actually really cool. And I know The Witcher's getting one as well. So yeah, very interesting. I had. It was funny because I was looking at my queue for games that I want to pick up. Over on 99 Gamers, I have on my wish list games that I want to eventually get. They keep bubbling up to the top of my queue. I just ended up getting the Order right now because I know it's like a 4-hour game and I can actually complete it. So once I finish that up, I'll get into Sunset Overdrive. And I kept thinking, God, Sunset Overdrive kind of came and went, and I heard some really mixed reactions. There were folks that absolutely loved it, and then there were folks that were just kind of ho-hum, nothing all that special. But I kept thinking, there's some potential there, and I'm like, it's still too early to announce Sunset Overdrive 2, obviously. But the game was, it really kind of stole Microsoft's show floor at E3 last year, which was really cool to see. So I thought, I wonder if what those guys are working on, if they're working on a new game in that series or whatever. But I figured it might be too early to talk about it. But then DLC, you mentioned it, Sam, that could be really cool as kind of like this in the middle, big chunky DLC that gets people excited for whatever future Sunset Overdrive stuff could happen. Cool, I like it. Tom, what about you? What's your next one?
Sorry, my app freaked out. Oh no.
I hear you.
Sorry. Let's see.
Oh, you had like your list up of all the things you were.
Yeah, I have it on Evernote.
Okay.
I have another one. If you want me to hop in.
Sure.
they've been talking about it, and I think this is the year that we'll finally see it. Is Crackdown 3 or whatever they're going to call it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they announced it last year.
Yeah, and that Screen Ride game, I guess, was supposed to be sort of a physics simulation that they were trying out for Crackdown 3. And like honestly, Crackdown is probably one of the like cult following Xbox games that really we haven't seen anything since Crackdown 2 of, and they kind of like buried it. But I think that everybody's ready for, since Saints Row has kind of like run its course. Grand Theft Auto.
Saints Row 4 is the best Crackdown game.
Well, sure, but like I think it owes a lot to like what Crackdown was, and I'm wondering if maybe Crackdown, since there is Sunset Overdrive and Saints Row have been kind of taking the whole like wacky sort of humor thing that Crackdown was doing before. I wonder if we get a semi-serious Crackdown game, because
Grand Theft Auto 4
well, maybe not the Grand Theft Auto, but like definitely towards the end of Crackdown 2, like the storyline and that stuff started to skew more towards like very dark humor and very sinister plot where you might not be playing as the good character and you're the villain the whole time. So I wonder if we see a Crackdown where you just straight up play the bad person in town while you're like working against the agents of like normal Crackdown.
That's kind of like my dream Saints Row game. But
Crackdown was one that they teased last year briefly, but I think that it's I think that it's fine. I'm excited for. I tell you the truth, I've never played a Crackdown game, but I think Crackdown 3 would be the one that would put me over.
Crackdown 1 is a really great game.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Always heard good things about it. So, but yeah, I think this is the year. You're right. It skipped my mind, but definitely going to be showing Crackdown 3 this year.
I totally see Crackdown 3 and what is it, Gears of War 4 being their big 2016
for next year
games.
Mm-hmm. You think Crackdown 3 would come out like this time next year, spring?
Yeah, I would think that would be a like March aimed game, or at least plan for March or maybe even February, and it get pushed to like maybe April, May at the latest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, their fiscal Q4.
Yeah.
Yeah, just design in the delay. Hey guys, we're gonna do February, but they have like April 16th, 2016 marked on their chalkboard at work in the office. All right, Tom, did you get Evernote back up?
Oh yeah. Do you guys think we're gonna see Quantum Break this year? Because they pushed it back.
I think we'll see it.
And I think like they changed a bunch. Like there's been a lot of stuff. They're like flip flopping back on what that game actually is going to be.
I don't know anything about that game anymore. I think it's changed a ton from what we saw last.
Yeah, so I feel like they have to bring it up to show like what it is now.
Yeah, at least define what they're aiming to making it. Maybe showing a little bit of gameplay and like completely skipping that live action stuff they were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, which now that their whole TV thing has gone down the tubes and
they
like because that game like I'm pretty sure like we could have a conversation right now and no one on this call will know what that game is.
Yeah, I have no idea.
No.
All I remember wasn't it like X-Files or something? I don't know.
Oh man, I don't even know, but don't toy with my heart. I would kill for that.
Maybe they come out and just go, just kidding, it's Alan Wake 2.
Oh my god, then I'd love it then. You know what, guys, we changed it. We're not gonna do Quantum Break anymore. We're gonna do Alan Wake 2. Brilliant. Although that's another game that we don't know anything about, so that they've got to be working on the new Alan Wake game. They have to be. It's got to be in some level of pre-production if it's not in production.
Did Alan Wake 1 sell all that good?
I think it ended up selling a lot more just over time. Like it may not have been the big chunk right at the very beginning, but I think over lots of sales, and I know Amazon was running like Alan Wake download codes for like $1.40 for like 2 months.
Yeah,
I think I loaded up on 4 of those.
I got it for $1 on Steam.
I think that like Xbox Live Arcade game they made too, based in the Alan Wake universe. Yeah, I think that did well, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
probably.
It was like $10. It was like not great, and not great. It was not bad at all. It was actually like really good, but it was way more action heavy, which that game wasn't. It was a lot more of like a shooter.
Well, I'm gonna hop in with one right here, and this is I have 2 that are kind of out there, but
Oh, I love these.
Yeah, this one's gonna be kind of wild. So this was a rumor a long time ago.
Is the partnership with DNA to bring nothing but
Yeah, to be nothing.
properties?
Coming to the PS4. No, so a long time ago there was this huge rumor about this, and it was a fake rumor. It was a made-up rumor that EGM did. But I think
Mushroom
now,
Kingdom Hearts.
no, yeah, this is Nintendo's last week. But I think this is maybe it's the time to actually do this. Uh,
I think I know.
Because I think it would be awesome. All right, ready? Hold on to your butts. Lego Halo.
Knew it.
I have this. I just think that Halo has got to be more this year. And maybe this is a release for beginning of next year or something. But um, and the reason I say Lego Halo is there, apart from Nintendo, there is nothing on PlayStation, nothing on Xbox for kids. I mean, yeah, you get Skylanders, you get the Lego games, and Disney, but those are all third-party games, right? There's nothing that's exclusive that makes you want to choose one console over the other for kids. So I'm gonna say Lego Halo only because it's a great way to get kids into the Halo universe, and it's Lego, and you can put humor into it, and sci-fi always. The Star Wars games are great with the Lego universe. So I think I think it could be awesome.
I don't like to be the guy who naysays something.
Yeah.
Because like a Lego Halo game, like my dream Lego Halo game, bring them in, do that, and bring in the friggin' Rooster Teeth guys, and have them do stuff. But the thing is, like, Microsoft with the Halo license already has a bunch of Mega Bloks products.
Yeah.
I was just about to say, I don't think Lego doesn't own Mega Bloks, right? That's its
No,
own.
they don't. No, Lego.
They're the awful, like, they're the like the Muppets.
Yeah, yeah, the mocks. The Muppets. Yeah. No, I think all it takes is money to make that change. Because Doctor Who was in the same boat. Remember, Doctor Who was a different. It was like a minifig, which is not Lego, and Doctor Who's a huge worldwide license, and they all of a sudden they got through the certain stages of Lego, and they're making obviously the Lego Dimensions game. So even though there's contracts,
like look how bad that looks. That's
yeah,
a bad looking thing.
right, yeah. It's so there you go. You see that? Yeah, I have a couple sitting over here. So anything can happen. All it takes is money, and I think Microsoft needs to work on that Halo IP and expand it. Because you look at like when Nintendo actually did a fairly decent job. They mentioned it 2 years ago that hey, we're going to start opening up the IP to other companies, and kind of do it in a unique way. It was about a year and a half ago.
They have Mega
things in
Bloks
unique ways. And exactly, they're in Mega Bloks as well. Connects, yeah, but no, they're they've been doing a really good job. We mentioned it last week. They're with the Hyrule Warriors and just a bunch of other things they're working on. So I think Lego Halo, or the other option could be Telltale Halo, which could be kind of cool. Because the Telltale Halo game, you don't need the shooting. It's a completely different way to talk about the backstory of all the characters in that universe, and maybe this takes place, millennia ago before anything starts, and that could be kind of
just let's be the Keith David character the whole time.
Yeah, let's be Keith David the whole time. But yeah, there you go. I mean, who knows?
That'd be awesome. Look, that'd be really cool.
So those are kind of these two ideas that were floating around my head. And I also have one more kind of crazy-ish idea, but I'll save that for later.
On Xbox.
They're gonna Silent Hills. All right, Tom. What other crazy ones do you have? What other ideas? I think we'll go for this is the fourth round right here that we're on, fourth-ish.
This is a safe bet, and I'm gonna say that Phantom Dust is nowhere to be seen, and everyone's really sad about it.
Oh, I'm really sad just you saying
Just
that.
hearing that, yeah.
People are gonna be so sad. Because Phantom Dust is going to be Microsoft's Last Guardian now.
What about that? Yeah, totally. But what about that Platinum game, right? Are they even going to mention that Scalebound? Is that another one of those?
The game that I was convinced was a Devil May Cry game until the logo popped up. I thought it was going to be a sequel to Nero and Devil May Cry 4.
Is Scalebound a console exclusive?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
It is a Japanese-developed Xbox console exclusive.
Because those go so well.
Yeah.
I think that the only way Platinum can make games anymore is to make them console exclusives, right? Because they had Wonderful 101 and Bayonetta 2 for the Wii U. Now they're going to have Scalebound for the for the Xbox. I wonder. Well,
They have Mad World on the Nintendo Wii.
Yeah, they had Mad. I think we're gonna hear something for the PS4 from them. We'll make I'm gonna write that prediction down. We're gonna have a platinum game.
How about they just stop making all these and make a new Metal Gear Rising game, and then
Wasn't that rumored? Wasn't that kind of rumored? Really briefly.
A picture of Raiden with a 2 slice, and they're like, "Oh, it doesn't mean anything, guys."
Yeah, well, no, it just means it's the 2-year anniversary of Metal Gear Rising.
I
just
want
kidding,
it so
just
bad,
kidding.
guys.
Yeah,
so bad. Kojima was like, "Oh, I'll help you guys with the story," and they're like, "No, we're good."
Yeah, I never played it. I'm looking at it right now.
It is the best Metal Gear game.
Is it? That's awesome. Maybe that's the one I can actually follow.
It treats the Metal Gear canon with the exact amount of respect it
That it deserves.
Fucking none. Like absolute zero. You start that game, like the tutorial is chopping up a Metal Gear with a sword.
That's awesome.
While like original metal compositions they made for the game play contextually.
Mm-hmm.
It is the weirdest game, and I love it.
So okay. Go ahead. Speaking of Metal Gear, I'm gonna jump in really quickly here because you kind of spurred some thought. I actually think we're tuning into the death of the Metal Gear franchise as we know it. With all the stuff that's happened with Konami and
I have something to say about this too. Once you're done. So.
Yeah. So I almost have, and I mean we know Metal Gear Solid 5 is coming out, but I wonder if there's some. I'm wondering if Microsoft will actually have like the Metal Gear Solid 5 debut, like the actual final big debut trailer on there. When is that? That game's coming out like next month or something. September?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's I wonder if they're going to do their big, devote a big chunk of that time.
Around the same time as Mad Max, so Mad Max got on because it is another open world desert game.
Yeah, that came too late after the movie that people are already going to forget about the film.
But up to your thing is, I think the opposite about this because they recently said things like, "No, guys, we still care about consoles. Don't not buy Konami stuff."
Yeah.
I think that the big thing with Kojima is that I think they want to give it to another team so they can get these every 18 months.
Yeah, I'm sure. They want it more regular.
Metal Gear is probably one of the only things that Konami has that sells enough.
That's actually a great point because they never know when a Metal Gear is going to be done, and a lot of their money hinges around Metal Gear getting completed in a certain amount of time, and Kojima just likes to take the time. He's like, I'm going to spend 18 years working on the next Metal Gear. It's like, hey, dude, we got to get this thing done so we can actually meet our goals. So, I think maybe you're right. Maybe they're...
I'm actually really excited to see what another team that doesn't have Kojima there to be like, no, we need to spend 7 years making this.
Yeah, right.
And make this weird Monster Hunter PSP game. And then make this card game.
It's a From Software Metal Gear game.
Oh, that would be so... Oh, no.
Sam,
what do you have? What's your next?
Well, even though they're going to focus on first party, I'm wondering if we're going to see at least a handful of indie games from Microsoft. Because I think last year, when they first announced the console, and they're like, oh, we have all these exclusive indie games, like Minecraft, which isn't an indie game anymore because we own it. And I'm wondering if they lead that pack with Gone Home, the console exclusive to Gone Home. Because, what was it? What is their name? It was an outlet of Majesco that's kind of like fallen by the wayside.
Yeah.
I can't think of their name
now. Gone Home was going to be on console.
Yeah.
The Fulbright company.
Yeah. Well, no. But Majesco has an
They were
indie...
publishing it, yeah.
They have an indie alternative. That's like the punk rock indie guys that like kind of existed and then didn't... they were going to publish it, and I wonder if Microsoft Studios moves in and goes, "We want Gone Home
Midnight City
to us."
Midnight City.
Yeah, Midnight City. Yep, that's it. I wouldn't be I'm sure there's another handful of games. Like we might see like I Am Bread come exclusive to.
ID at Xbox was very active last year.
Yeah, they were.
Off like a bunch of stuff that still hasn't come out yet, like Hyper Light Drifter and.
Do you think we'll actually get the infamous every Xbox can be a indie dev unit?
At least a reworked version of that, maybe.
So here's on that point, which could be actually kind of cool. What if this is the year that and this is me just thinking on the fly right here. What if this is the year that Microsoft says, hey, not only can every device be an indie console, but here here is a tool set that we've created with Mojang that lets you make games and publish them right from the Xbox onto Xbox Live. Like, here it is, the tool set. Make your games, publish them, set your pricing, whatever you want to do. If you want to import Unity stuff, here's a way to do it Unity, but here is it's like, RPG Maker or Game Maker or something. Here it is. Whatever you want to make, you can make.
Dolly, you just got a PC.
Yeah.
How much time have you spent on the Steam store not looking at popular releases or sales?
There is stuff on there that I don't even. Yeah. No.
Okay, there are maybe 10 to 12 releases a month that are Minecraft art style shooters and action games, and they're all the same and they're all terrible.
Well, that's true, but at the same time, I wonder if there's
block shooter.
If this indie initiative that Microsoft can kind of take on. Because I think Idea Xbox Live, they need to push it more than they are now. I mean, yeah, they mention it, they bring it up, but Sony kind of owns the indie space. And then, strangely enough, Nintendo is in there too because through their support of Unity. But I think Microsoft needs to catch up, and if they're finally going to say, go ahead, develop it. Here's how you can develop it. We're going to give you the tool sets. And they had that silly game making. I mean, they have Project Spark, which doesn't do much. Then they had that game-making software that, was it like Cujo? I don't remember what it was called, that was on Xbox 360.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that?
Kudo? Was it
Kudo? I don't know what it was.
Kumo, something with a K.
Kaka, I think it was Kaka is what it was called. It was for kids. But, I mean, I could see something that's much more advanced, and for them to say, hey, here you go, have fun, make games, and put them up on Xbox Live. So maybe, who knows? Sam, I like the way you're thinking. And I think that this could be the year, hopefully, that Microsoft really kind of embraces other people developing stuff. So
I really want
that idea.
A lot more unique indie games on Xbox.
Yeah, I mean, look at Ori and the Blind Forest.
Yeah. They're going to have like a serious policy change, though, because from like what I was talking to people at PAX East and when I talk to people, like when I interview people and talk to people in the industry, it is that Sony is just a lot easier and better to work with as a company for their indie publishing stuff. And apparently Microsoft has been known to be like kind of a pain. Easing up and starting to get it better with the Xbox One stuff, but apparently they're still not the best to work with. So I hope they can iron that out because I really want to see more on it.
So here's my last. I'm just gonna throw these two out there right now at the same time. There's a company out there that we don't know anything about what they're working on. That company is Rare. So I think we're going to get Banjo-Kazooie. We're going to get a brand new Banjo-Kazooie game because they've seen... I think they've actually been secretly working on Banjo-Kazooie in little bits here and there. And then when the news of this new ukulele game kind of popped up, and they said, what's that?
That'd be so great because their conference is the day that the ukulele Kickstarter ends.
Yes, I know. Well, I think I'd love... Which, I think, like I said, they have a ton of... there's a ton of people saying, "Hey, we want these 3D platformers, the mascot platformers again." And there's a lot of people that were interested in this Banjo-Kazooie like game. It's like, shit, we own Banjo-Kazooie. Let's make another fucking Banjo-Kazooie game. And they probably had assets sitting around, so we won't get anything outside of like a really. I don't think we'll get anything outside of a really quick teaser, not even a trailer, just like the name comes up and like Banjo runs across and then
Nuts and Bolts 2.
Nuts and Bolts 2, hopefully not, I don't know. But I think we'll get a tease for Banjo-Kazooie. Yeah. And
go
ahead.
Some sort of modular vehicle building.
Yeah, right.
I'll be on day one.
Well, Phil Spencer has been alluding to there being a new Battletoads or something.
Yeah,
at least
exactly.
A remake of Battletoads.
Do people like Battletoads?
Who knows?
You know what? I brought this up on with Mike Futter the other day. We were talking about Battletoads and stuff, and how there's a lot of folks talking about it, and I keep saying that nobody liked any Battletoads game. It was going back then and playing it. We played them because that's all that came out, and we were in love with the Ninja Turtles games, and we were in love with Double Dragon. And Double Dragon really wasn't that great, but at least Turtles in Time was awesome, and the NES Turtles games were actually not that bad. So I think that people were more interested in those and playing Battletoads by default, and Battletoads was not good. And they're going back. I think it's just nostalgia that's guiding people to actually want to play Battletoads.
correct me if I'm wrong, and if your memories are different, let me know. But every memory I have of Battletoads, we never set out to be like, yo, let's play Battletoads. It was always,
Yeah.
we're bored with these other games. Well, shit, I guess we'll play Battletoads.
For me, Battletoads
Confident,
was
why not?
So
We'll get
for
to
me,
senior level and die. There
for
we
me,
go.
Battletoads, because there was like four or five Battletoads games, right? Because there was like one or two arcade games, and there was like Super Battletoads for the Super NES, Battletoads Double Dragon, the original Battletoads. I think there was like a Game Boy game or something. Um, I ended up playing Battletoads, I think the first one, because I thought, oh shit, these are like a hip, it was like Zitz, Pimple, and Rash or whatever their names were. I'm like, oh, this is like a much more hip Ninja Turtles. I think that's how they were marketed, as like a much more hip Ninja Turtles. I'm like, I gotta get into these guys because there's a cartoon coming and there's a video game. And I played the video game and I actually ended up completing the game, but only because I used a Game Genie. So I guess I cheated, but. And I hated it. Did not like it at all. In fact, I played Ren and Stimpy like crazy. Oh, there's another IP that needs to come back, guys. Somebody get on a Ren and Stimpy IP game. That would be awesome. And then Super Battletoads for the Super NES was just like, I think that was just a beat 'em up game that wasn't anything special whatsoever. And the only reason we rented any other Battletoads game was because we would go to our local movie rental place looking for games, and like whenever Final Fantasy was rented out or Turtles in Time was rented out. Well, at least there's Battletoads, I guess. Whenever one of the WWF games is rented, it's like, well, at least there's Battletoads. We can play that, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, but every memory of Battletoads is ended or prefaced with "I guess."
Yeah, exactly. I guess. So I don't know.
I feel like Battletoads people only know or care about because it's like that dumb 4chan thing.
Yeah,
like, oh, hey,
totally.
Guys, Battletoads.
It's all it is, and it's just kind of. It's floating out there because people want to remember something that's not really as good as it actually was. But speaking of another rare game that's no longer a rare game, but I think we're going to see a Killer Instinct 3. I know they've been doing some weird things with their free-to-play Killer Instinct game, which has not. I don't know how well that's been doing at all.
They keep releasing characters.
They keep releasing characters, but I think at some point they should just actually release a whole new Killer Instinct game. So maybe this is the year that they do Killer Instinct. They announce that Killer Instinct 3 is coming eventually, or something. Because playing Killer Instinct, I played it for a little bit, and it was way too erratic character release, and installing and downloading it just made it difficult. So they need to go all in, and make a new one. But yeah, Banjo-Kazooie was my big one. I think we'll actually get it. What about you guys, Sam? What's your last one or two?
I was actually going to talk about Rare myself, but I was going selfish with it. I was really hoping that they were going to make a new Jet Force Gemini game.
Yeah.
Or actually, as we've been talking about it, I was like, oh, what if Battletoads are actually the villains in the Banjo-Kazooie game?
Oh, that would be awesome.
But then I started thinking, what if Rare just decides that they say screw it to making independent games and just take all of their IPs that they still own and still can and turn it into like a Rare giant game, where Banjo-Kazooie and Battletoads and Jet Force Gemini and that I want to say Konami, and that's wrong.
Yeah, and then you can go to the store and you can buy individual characters, and you can have some sort of portal that you put them on.
No, man, a rare MOBA. There we go. That'll be it.
See some MOBA there. There has to be
Yeah,
some MOBA there.
Heroes of the Rare Heroes.
Yeah.
Like Smite has been doing really good.
Yeah.
Well, see, I was going to say for the Sony stuff, we might see a MOBA coming from the Sony studio, but with all the third-party MOBAs on Microsoft, I don't think we'll see them develop one in particular unless they go to Evolved and look to, like, hey, can we make this free-to-play on our system and our system alone? Because, there's been talks that that Evolved is looking to go to some sort of free-to-play, or at least, like, hey, make it to level 20 before you have to pay for anything.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Who knows? Hopefully Rare has at least an announcement tomorrow. At the conference.
We're 2 weeks away from it.
Yeah.
Oh, God. 2 weeks away from not hearing from Tom for like 5 days.
Oh, man. I'm going to be crying. And then, like, about 2.5 weeks away from me being back in this apartment, like, in a fetal position.
What, Tom? Do you have anything? Any final ideas?
Nah, man, like we were talking about before, I could totally see them pulling a Destiny and being
Mhm.
like, "Hey guys, Halo 5 multiplayer beta 2, you can go and do it right now."
I'm I think we're going to see something that's I think we're going to see a huge announcement. I
I
actually
hope so. Those are the best.
I don't know what it is. I mean, Tomb Raider was, I think maybe Tomb Raider was an announcement last year, kind of. But I think we're going to see something really big, really unexpected. I don't know what it is. I mean, maybe this is me wanting to see all that. I don't know what it is, but I'm hopeful that something absolutely insane blows our mind because I love to see those types of things, especially at these big press conferences. I like to just sit. I mean, usually I'm at these conferences. This year I'm not, but I'm going to be holding my clenching my cheeks, holding my office chair at my office as I'm streaming it. Don't tell my boss I'll be streaming on one side, um, and like just waiting. And I'm ready for like that. The old was it the RCA commercials where the guy's holding onto the seat and like his hair is being blown back and the Dalmatians. I want that moment out of Xbox. I think that would be awesome, but we'll see. We'll see. All right. Well, anything else crazy, wild?
Nah, I think
Um,
we're good.
All right, cool. Well, thank you guys for tonight. It's actually got a great hour's worth of predictions in there, and I think the biggest unknown right now, I mean, we have an idea what Nintendo's kind of doing. We know a little bit, and we know Microsoft's going to be Halo. There's going to be a lot of Halo focus on there, but they have the potential to really, really surprise us, Microsoft and Sony. And so I'm super stoked to see what they're going to put forward because it's been quiet on all fronts from the big guys. So let's get ready for 2 weeks from now and get ready to have some fun. It's gonna be should hopefully be an awesome rest of 2015 and 2016. But thank you guys. We'll do our PlayStation one later this week, and then I think next week at some point we'll do the third party focused predictions, and then we may hear from Tom while he's at E3. We may do a quick call in with him, or we'll figure something out if he's not completely demolished in his hotel room in a fetal position, crying. But Sam, where can they find you?
On Twitter.
Anywhere. What's your house address, bank account number?
Sure.
So they can dox you. How can they dox you?
Yes. No, on Twitter I am SamDI79.
Cool. Tom, where are you on the Twitters and on Sam also on Twitch? Do you have a Twitch account you want to share or?
Nah. I mean I don't stream ever.
All right.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sam, what about you?
Rob Tom.
I mean Tom. Oh, I'm looking at a piece of paper over here writing.
Johnson.
Yeah, Tom. Hey, Tom Johnson. All right. Sorry.
At Tom Johnson on Twitter.
And what about on Twitch?
I believe it's probably Tuna is the name.
Probably Tuna.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's a great Twitch name.
I wonder if you're like it's probably Tuna. That's cool. You can find me at Dolly Domofsky on Twitter. And I think I'm at Cool Rats on my old screen name on Twitch, KEWLRATS. I think we've been doing a lot of streaming, and definitely check out the videos that Tom and Ryan have been putting together. They're awesome. I just watched your Get Lateral Damage video the other day, and I've been just barely getting into some streaming now that I have, I've downloaded the software that I need for my laptops and both of them, and I'm actually surprised my MacBook has been streamed Cat Lateral Damage better than my PC laptop, so I've got to figure out. I think I had all my settings kind of wonky, and a lot of that I think it's just Windows 8.1 is garbage, so hopefully Windows 10, they keep saying it's going to arrive this summer, so I'm hoping that, August, September at the latest, but we'll see. Make sure you follow us on YouTube, on Twitch at SideQuesting, because that's where all the good stuff is. On the Facebooks, where SideQuesting is on there too. Twitter, like I mentioned, all that stuff, SideQuesting. And SideQuesting.com, because that would be awesome. I think that's it, guys. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you on the next SideQuest, or whatever we call it. Bye-bye.
Bye.